Hello everybody, my name is Storm and this is another cast. Giving it about 8 to 10 seconds for that gray area to go away with the messed up textures because that split local recording sucks. Well, it's good, but besides that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get this game underway. It's going to be between DrMooose, the red Zerg, in the east position, and Charger, the blue Terran, in the west position. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to say because I did get some feedback, so I would like to thank everybody for doing that. I do need to work on my mouse or my camera control, make sure that I can catch all the drops, etc. that happens there, and make sure I stop saying and so yeah. And apparently I have a good voice for this, even though I don't agree with that, but hey, you know, if you guys think so, then great. You are your own worst critic, so there I am doing it. I'm just not sure what to say in the very beginning, so I say because I'm trying to gather some thoughts or something to kind of talk about for today as we proceed on to the game to see if they're going to get gas, how they're going to open up, and then see how the game kind of derives off that. I guess I could talk about the map a little bit. It is going to be on Antigua Shipyard, and some believe that this is a bit Terran favored just because you can get your third pretty easily and defend it with siege tanks right here. Not too sure about that. Man, I need to stop saying that. I'm trying really hard to do that. Sorry about that. So, it's like killing me here. Alright, so I'm going to look over at the gas here for Charger. There's no gas over at 13, so he may be doing either a 1 racks fast expand or a 2 gas. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It looks like I'm going to guess it's going to be a 1 racks fast expand just because with 2 racks you normally want to get it like immediately after on 14. And he's not sending any SCVs over, so just based off of what he's doing right now, it looks like it's going to be a 1x fast expand. Then we see that the expansion is going down for 15 for DrMooose here. I'm going to try and give it a little bit more attention over here to this Zerg. So I stopped focusing on the Terran player too much because I do know that I have that bias, so I'm going to keep just kind of checking up on that Zerg, see what he's up to. However, we do see the barracks has completed. That SUV is going to go down here to expand. We do have the drone scout. He was sent over into the base, but he's greeted by the wall because once the Terran has walled off, it'll move over to the position that he can get to, which is really nowhere. So, drone is over here scouting to see that the barracks is up and running. The Marine does come out, so he may be able to get that drone kill. We're going to have to see if that drone is going to be able to survive with 5 health left. It looks like it is going to make it right back home. Do have an SCV scouting to see where that Zerg player is, and it looks like at the Zerg's base everything is looking standard and dandy. We have the gas and the spawning pool down, an Overlord being sent over here. Now one thing I do see a lot of Terrans do is getting two or three Marines, and then they go and look for Overlords. They just go Overlord hunting, and it's very, very awesome to do. I like doing it myself, is whenever you can just get a few Overlord kills. It's very frustrating as a Zerg player getting supply blocks so early in the game. I mean, it's 100 minerals that you don't really have. Everything has to be timed out, so it just kind of delays everything a little bit. Looks like Charger's going to go for that in-base command center. I'm not sure what his thought process is there. I mean, you want to get your command center out as early as you possibly can. So putting it down in the main, it's going to take another 10 seconds for it to get down into the natural, and he's also probably going to make that an orbital command before he even moves it. So DrMooose is going to be ahead a little bit by getting this hatchery up at 15 and getting some drones mining it as well. We do see double gas here for Charger going down, so it does indicate that he's going to go for a reactor Hellion type play, or at least he wants to tech up. He's not getting the double barracks before he starts that factory. We do see that the spawning pool is up and running. I'm not sure about this positioning, however. As a Zerg player, you normally want to keep your, at least this is what I believe, is you want to keep your buildings a little bit to the left of your command or your hatchery, so that whenever a Terran drops, he can't contain your Zerglings in this little spot, because I see a lot of Zergs putting their tech behind the mineral line. I'm not sure why they do that whenever Terrans can just drop their Marines right in between. It's so annoying. I've actually had it where I couldn't even reach my the Marines is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm just a little bit brain dead right now. But I can't reach the Marines because I had a Baneling nest right here and I had a spawning pool, and I believe it was on this exact map is when I learned this. And the Terran just dropped right here and killed all of my drones, and I was so upset. I was like, okay, well, I'm never doing that again. We do see a scan going down by Charger to see what kind of tech that the Zerg's going. I believe it's a little bit too early. Yeah, he's not going to be able to see the Baneling nest going down, the lair, or anything like that. I think that was just a little bit too early, but that's alright. We do see a factory being swapped out with the barracks now, so he is going to go for that reactor Hellion opening, not quite transferring that orbital command. I'm not sure if he's been using it for SCVs or what he's doing there. Just kind of keeping it. There he goes, lifting it off. We do see an evolution chamber. I like how the Zerg is using this as a wall off here. It has 2 spine crawlers. I'm not sure if the Zerg scouted that or how he... or why you got 2 spine crawlers instead of 1 and then eventually getting 2, but hey, maybe he just wants to play a little bit more defensively. We do see that the Overlord is scouting that factory. I'm not sure. I'm going to go quickly into DrMoose's vision here, and we do see that he saw the first factory as well. So he knows that there's 2 factories up. There's also a third one going down, so it looks like Charger is going to be going for that mech style play, which is very, very good against Zerg if they're not prepared for it, if they don't scout it. It's kind of like a one-trick pony is what I believe, though, because if you do it in like a best of 3 series, I feel like Zerg, if they're prepared for it and they kind of metagame you and scout for it specifically, then they'll be prepared and shut it down entirely. That's just how I feel. Not entirely sure how correct I am in that. We do see 2 Hellions, actually 4 Hellions now. Their reinforcements are here to kind of deny that creep spread, try to deny the third as long as they possibly can. We do have a lot of creep, though, out here for DrMooose, so that's quite unfortunate. But when you go for a 1-Rex fast expand, you delay your Hellions quite significantly. Ooh, a lot of Lings. I actually missed these. They're about to get a surround on the Hellions. Hellions trying to run for their life. But I think, ooh, 1 Hellion is going to get surrounded by the Lings. 3 more are going to be able to survive, but you do not want to lose those Hellions at this level of play. They're very, very important. You want to keep them alive as long as you possibly can. We do have Blue Flame being researched by Charger here. The Zerglings are going to catch up. Ooh, might be losing another Hellion going in for that surround. It looks like, yep, another Hellion does go down. He is going to lose these other 2 as well. Trapping himself up at the ramp, unless the Zerg just chases it. It's alright, though. Oh, the Hellions do stop. Does lose both of those, but he does have, looks like 5 more back at his base, and they will have Blue Flame shortly, so DrMooose is going to have to transition out of that Hellion style, the Ling style, and go more Roach Infester, because Lings can get decimated by these Hellions. So right now it looks like both players are just kind of entering a macro mode. DrMooose is trying to use these Lings here. Just checking the third, seeing if that's up and running by Charger, which it is not. He is starting to take his third of his own. No macro hatch quite yet, floating 1k. We do have that attack trying to be pushed forward. However, great job by Charger putting up the wall in, and the Hellions are able to shoot it. However, I think that should kind of tip off DrMooose in that he has a lot of Hellions. That means he's probably going mech, so he needs to start preparing for that, and sure enough, there's the Roach Warren going down. Looks like there is an armory out and an engineering bay as well, just so that he can get those missile turrets in case the Zerg does decide to go for the Mutalisk style. He is getting 2 Thors out as well. Looks like DrMooose just kind of macroing up. I mean, he's sitting at 1.6k though, in this early in the game. I mean, he needs a macro hatch. There it is. The Hellions are pushing out to try and get some free drone kills. We have 11 drones on the way. Not quite much happening right now. Keeping these Overlords over in his base so that he doesn't lose those to Marines or Thors. He does have an Overseer on the way to scout as well. Very good scouting information by DrMooose. Oh, I'm missing where are they at. There we go. The Hellions are trying to surround on that Queen. It takes so long for Hellions to kill Queens, however. They're moving over towards the third. Drones, he's going to get some free drone kills too. 3 going down. Going to get that 4th one as well. Going to push up C2 Spy Crawlers and just back out. No, deciding to actually push forward with him. I do kind of agree with this. He can make these very worthwhile. There are Banelings out on the field, however, but he's killing all of them. There is a Baneling going through, getting another kill. Wow, doing a lot of damage with these Hellions, getting a ton of drone kills at the natural, getting a lot of Ling kills, but they are going to get surrounded and cleaned up. Resources lost. Yeah, definitely in Charger's favor here. The Overseer is over here to see that the Thors are out on the field. Sees that, just to confirm, he is going mech and seeing how much production he has. Just kind of getting a little overview of what the Terran is planning on doing. So I'm going to look actually at the Harvester count. It's 51 to 43 inside of the Terran's favor. 17 drones are on the way, so the Zerg is going to pull ahead in that regard. There is a 3rd command center going down for Charger. And as mentioned earlier, it's quite easy, especially for a meching player, to secure that 3rd base. The most annoying thing that I think to deal with it is for Mutalisk, but he can just sit here in the middle and just siege up and be completely fine for any type of counterattacks. And I think that a 3-base meching player is super, super strong. If they get up to 3-base and the Zerg doesn't deny it, then I think they're in a lot of trouble. That's when things start spiraling out of control. You can get a really, really heavy Thor count, and the only thing I can think of that a Zerg can do to deal with it would be infestors with neural parasite. So looking at the production data, no units being made from DrMooose, and that's what I can't remember who said it. I believe it was Day 9 who said that the difference between a Master Zerg and like the other Zergs in the lower leagues is that the Masters can make the amount of drones without making the units or whatever. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but there are the units. Now that he knows that a push is coming, he's just droning up as long as he possibly could, and now getting the units to deal with this. Roaches are coming out. There are some Marines, however, Roaches are just going to obliterate those Hellions. There is some Thors, though, to reinforce. I'm getting a little bit of lag. I hope that doesn't show up on the stream. These Thors are just so beefy, but they do not have any upgrades. There is +1/+1, but I think Charger pushed a little bit too preemptively. However, it's doing a ton of damage. Wow. The Roaches for reinforcements are coming, and they're going to be able to clean this up, I believe, but I still think Charger is ahead in that engagement. Looking at the resources lost tab, it does appear to be the case, being able to clean that up. So DrMooose is behind in supply, now pulling himself ahead. 15 Roaches are out on the way. I believe he's going to want to do a counterattack, trying to deny that third. There are tanks out on the field with siege mode, not quite sieged up yet. Charger does need to get that sieged up just to be able to deal with that. Going to look over here. No infestation pit that I can see in the main. Let me check his natural to see if he does have the infestation pit. Doesn't look like it, actually. He needs to start doing that so he can start thinking about hive tech and getting the infestors out there. It goes right whenever I'm mentioning that. He needs that hive tech as soon as he possibly can to be able to deal with this, because broodlords are really good. The weakest thing about mech is air, so not Needlisk, of course, but still, yeah, you see what I'm saying. There are siege tanks over here. They are going to be able to clean up those Roaches actually quite nicely. There is +1 weapons on, or already completed. I'm going to look over here. It looks like 1/1 for the Roaches. So this production tab is looking very sick for for Charger here. We do have 5 more drones, infestation pit, and a spire on the way, so it looks like he's going to be transitioning into Infestor Broodlord possibly. Planetary Fortress is completed. He is floating a little bit of minerals, which you will do as a meching player, but you start thinking about turrets and command centers at that point. We do have a drone over here. Looks like he's going to want to take that 4th base, but instead of getting the gold, he's actually just going to take this 4th base, this natural 4th base. This is the biggest problem I have with Antigua, is the way the 4th base is taken. I prefer to take the gold as mine, but that's just, I guess, a personal preference. I feel like the gold is easier to defend unless they're like sieged up here. But it just seems so long to get over there. But yeah, both players are just kind of sitting pretty right now. Charger just getting himself defensed up so that he can secure that 3rd, get it up and running, make sure his economy is very stable, getting those upgrades on that mech, making sure he's as strong as he possibly can so he can do one big death push. Getting the Terran death ball this time. 2 spine crawlers up for DrMooose, actually 4, I'm sorry, to be able to deal with any type of drops. And just as a general defense, good injects actually. That queen is very low on energy. However, it is injecting 2 hatches, but still, it's still pretty good. This one has 91, but that's alright. We can forgive him for that. There is Baneling speed research. I'm not sure if he's actually planning on using those at all or not. There is a scan going down. He is going to see that the spire is there, and it looks like the lair is morphing into the hive, so he's going to get that great scan, getting very good information. So he is going to know that broodlords are on the way. 4 Vikings immediately. Very good choice by Charger here. Roaches are taking the center of the map to get Xel'Naga to control. I very enjoy. I'll deal with it. The Charger's decision on sending the Hellions out to get some drone kills and put DrMooose even further behind. The spines, however, very good, very smart by DrMooose. I actually didn't even consider Hellion run-bys at all, so I like that decision to do that. Roaches are being pulled back, all of them actually, to deal with that. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but hey, it's alright. We do have a 4th command center on the way for Charger. Both players kind of floating a lot of minerals here, and the Zerg is floating a little bit of gas. It looks like the siege tanks are unsieging to push forward. They are going to be greeted by Roaches, however. He did get a scan off to see. Very good. I agree with that entirely, because he is floating minerals, so he can spend that energy on scans. The Roaches are pushing forward. The siege tanks aren't sieged up. They are going to get sieged up perfectly in time. So the roaches are going to be forced to push back or fight in it and die. Looking at the upgrades, it's only 1-1 for the Terran. He does have +2/+2, very good timing to push out. The fourth base is available, but not up and running quite yet. No drones to deal with that. Harvester count 66 to 85. Wow, Charger killing that SCV production right now. DrMooose is supply capped. Doesn't quite have enough drones, I believe. I mean, he doesn't have that fourth base even running. I think he needs a lot more to start saturating, get the economy that he needs. Looking over here at the supplies, he is getting that +2 attack and +3 carapace. No corruptors. He's like I mentioned earlier, he is max, so he's going to start throwing away some roaches so that he can get, I believe, corruptors and broodlords, or if he just, well, I don't know what he plans on doing out of here, or getting infestors even to throw down some infested Terran in the middle. But yeah, this is just where it gets really, really, really difficult. There are infestors out on the way, but as I was going to say, as a Zerg player, I'm not actually sure how you deal with this. This is so difficult, and this is another reason why people think that Antigua is more Terran favored, because they can sit here with these siege tanks and it just be so annoying. There are spine crawlers out though for DrMooose. I do like this very, very much. Getting a lot of defense up, trading those drones for spine crawlers so that he can get more army. But as I mentioned, his drone count is pretty low. But hey, you know, maybe he feels that he has a good number. The roaches are being moved over here towards the middle of the map so he can kill as many turrets, as many tanks as he possibly can. Actually deciding not to. The Hellions are being moved over towards the, I'm not sure what base this would be considered, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base, but there is no 6th base there. Only one spine crawler here, and it's not even completed, but there are 2 over here and some infestors to deal with these Hellions. And as mentioned earlier, there's no drones really for him to kill. He's just trying to throw away some Hellions, possibly to get more Thors and tanks, or Vikings. He's just trying to trade his army as well. Oh, I missed the push over here. It looks like there is a push from the roaches, but unfortunately, ooh. How is he able to get vision of that? Is he attacking his own units? I believe he is. So yeah, the roaches are trying to sit here and do what damage that they possibly can. They're lifting off like mules to kill off the siege tanks. Very, very cool. I love using roaches for friendly fire. Very smart by DrMooose. Over here we have quite a lot of infestors. Yeah, I'm not sure what he plans on doing with those, if he is going to use those for infested Terran to do what exactly he's doing with the roaches, or if he just wants those for fungal on the Vikings, or neural parasite on the Thors. I guess he has a lot of options with those, so those 2 tanks are going to die. Charger is trying to reinforce here with the tanks though, so it's going to take DrMooose a while, and there is a scan. All of the roaches are going to go. Oh, actually, I'm not sure. Charger has a lot of Vikings. He is going to land the Vikings. The Thors are going to go down. The tanks are already decimated. So, looking back over at Charger's base really fast, there's no real reinforcements here. And there's a lot of roaches on the way as well. So, DrMooose actually looking in really good shape. He does have, it looks like 5 bases. None of them really saturated, other than he has about 1 mining base right now. Killing off the gold, it looks like, forcing the SCVs to pull back and repair that planetary fortress. It's going to take him a very long time to kill that. He needs to target fire the SCVs. However, there are tanks here to help with that planetary fortress to keep it alive as long as he possibly can. And the roaches are running right into the tanks. Very good tank positioning by Charger. Going to lose a lot of roaches. I don't believe this is favorable inside of DrMoose's favor, but it actually is going to kill them all. He is 3-2, and he does have 3-3. I'm not sure what DrMoose's plans are here. 36 leans on the way. I'm not sure what his decision was with that when he knows that the player's going tanks. Looks like more roaches are going to reinforce towards that planetary fortress. The SCVs aren't repairing, but it doesn't necessarily need repair. The SCVs are focusing their attention over here to that 3rd base. There's more tanks on the way. Roaches trying to do what they can, trying to push forward, but they're all getting decimated by tanks. There are more Vikings out on the field. The tanks are sieging up from the high ground. Ooh, killing a ton of the infestors. Very good job by Charger. Maybe a misclick by DrMooose, or maybe he thought that he didn't have that turret there. That's quite unfortunate. Ling's trying to come in and do what they can, but I think that planetary fortress can kill an infinite amount of Lings with the SCVs being able to repair. Killing us to some supply depots, just trying to do what damage they can. 11 corruptors on the way. I'm not sure if DrMooose did that intentional so he could trade armies, as I've mentioned a few times actually. So he's going to transition into Broodlord Tower. He is broke, as I've again mentioned. He has no drones. He needs drones. He needs to be mining. But yeah, he's not, so he can't afford this tier 3. There are a lot of sensory towers here. Is that what they're called? Yeah, sensor towers, not sensory. Sensor towers out here to be able to see the Zerg army, which is also very important as a mech player. You want to have command centers out, I believe, all around the map, so that you can use them as planetary fortresses and contain the Zerg within the middle of the base, or within the middle of the map, rather. Quite a lot of Vikings. I believe that is just because he saw the Greater Spire, but that is just so many Vikings. But they do have no upgrades, so no upgrades for the Corruptors either, so the air is exactly even. And if he transforms all of those Corruptors into Broodlords, then yeah, all the Vikings will kill them. Spines are being positioned over towards the 5th base of DrMoosse. DrMoosse transferring some drones over there as well, because he was a little bit oversaturated here. And now players are going to be sitting pretty again. This is what's kind of bad about meching players, is that it takes so long to kill them, or for a long time for games to end. But it's so much fun to play it, and honestly, I like watching it. I love watching mech play. I'm not good as mech, so it's just entertaining for me for some reason. DrMoosse is just sitting here with 106 supply, no money. Look at the income right here, 61 to 73. He's actually mining more than Charger is, but Charger has a huge bank right now. No gas though. Needs to be taking more bases. He's starting to mine out at his 3rd. His natural is completely mined out, and his main. However, he's been sitting on this gold for so long. Zerg hasn't even taken his gold, so I feel like Charger should start thinking about taking a 5th base so that he can get some more gas. Actually, I'd take even more bases with 4k minerals in the bank. Going to kill a lot of drones here, which is very, very annoying, with only 400 minerals now. And that's like his only mining base. He has one mining base besides this one. And he lost every single drone but 2 right there. And Lings are going to try and come in. There goes all the drones. The Lings do die, but the Spine Crawlers are going to be able to kill it off. But it's very unfortunate. He is throwing down 14 more drones here, but I feel like DrMoosse is in a rough spot. I feel like he's in an unwinnable spot. He has no drones to be able to deal with this. He has no units because he has no drones, and he has to put that money towards the drones to make the units. And I feel like he's just so far behind right now that Charger can literally do whatever he wants and still win the game, unless he like F10 ends and leaves the game. Hellions running by to see if there's any more drones being made, and he's going to kill them off as well. There are 6 spines over here to be able to deal with that, but instead, running straight, no, actually getting fungled. Wow, good fungal here, but no units to be able to kill it off other than Spine Crawlers, so he's just going to run straight towards that 5th base, lose all of his Hellions. I kind of figured that he would run towards the 4th base to try and kill that off. A ton of sensor towers out here all around the map. There is that 5th base going up for Charger. That gold is oversaturated, needs to be transferred out. I believe he's out of, this base is also gone. He could start thinking about actually throwing away some SCVs to trade for a bigger army, because right now all he needs is gas, so doesn't necessarily need the minerals. I guess he could use a few on he doesn't have to throw away all his SUVs, but it's something he could consider. Huge Vikings right now, so it looks like Charger's going to start transitioning into a heavy infestor count, but yeah, he only has like 4 corruptors, so these Vikings are just going to be like, hey, what's up? But if he gets good fungals with the infestors, then all the Vikings could die, so he does have to be careful in that regard. But yeah, the only thing I could that I could see being a problem is if this trade goes unfavorable for Charger, then he has no gas to be able to remax his army. His production, I'm not sure where it's at really. Looks like 7 factories. You could probably think about throwing a little bit more maybe. I think that's a good number, but he is starting to take more bases now, so he can get extra gas, and he'll be completely fine if he does decide to trade armies, because as I mentioned multiple times now, it's just the harvester count for the Zerg, 59. He's been sitting about 60 drones throughout this entire game, and he has decided never to go above that. So yeah, I don't think that's looking too good for him. This base is kind of dwindling down. It still has a few because there's not enough drones mining it. He is taking another base, and this base only has like 4 drones mining. So it looks like there is the trade going down. The infestor is trying to get a good fungal on the Vikings. Oh, the Vikings almost overextending themselves. Oh man, that almost went really bad for Charger, but pulling back at the exact appropriate time, trying to kite these broodlords as best as he possibly can without losing the Vikings, and throwing down some more Thors. He is getting ship upgrades and armor as well. Very, very good for Charger. He's looking so solid right now. Basically, he's waiting for the Zerg opponent to just leave his game. Right now, there's not too much to say, however. I mean, the base is trying to go up here for DrMooose. He has a lot of spines for defense, so Charger can't necessarily throw in a lot of Hellions, but he can trade them if he'd like. Something that I could kind of see him doing is sending in the Hellions towards the Infestors and try to kill them. However, I feel like the Broodlord count way too high for him to be able to do that. There are 4 more Corruptors on here. Actually, a total of 6 Corruptors against the amount of 17 Vikings. So, yeah. He's actually morphing even more into Broodlords. He's really relying on the Infestors to kill off the Vikings. So, right now, we just have to wait for some player to engage. It's just kind of sitting here while Charger takes all the bases and gives himself a really nice economy. Gets himself a lot of production thrown on, and now he's just looking unbeatable. Literally unbeatable. There's not much else to say, man. A lot of Broodlords out here. It looks like a 14 Broodlords, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 14. That sounds like a good number. Some more drones being moved over towards the 6th base of DrMooose, sitting about 3 mining bases. He could transfer these drones over here. That would be a good idea, because he's broke right now. Ooh, some tanks being sent over towards the 6th base. Going to siege up, possibly. Get some free drone kills right there. And now all the Broodlords are going to be moving over to deal with all the 3 tanks. Let's see if Charger decides to take this opportunity to move up at all, or if he's just going to sit there. Tanks just kind of... Wow. just killing off the hatchery as best as they can, but Broodlords are so slow. I can't believe he moved his entire army just for 2 siege tanks and throwing down corruption on them as well. I don't know if that hatchery... Nah, that hatchery can't go down. Can't go down. Can't go down. Can't go down. Wow, sitting with 90 health. I feel like Charger should have taken that opportunity, however, to move up a little bit, since he saw that all of the Broodlords were over there. But instead, just going to sit at that Xel'Naga tower. Looks like some Broodlings going to be killed off by the tanks. Oh, the Vikings are deciding to move up to kill some Broodlords. How many are they going to be able to kill? 1, 2 going down. The Infestors moving in. Good fungals on the Vikings. Ooh, but the Infestors overextending themselves, running into the siege tank. The Vikings not dying. And it looks like Charger's now investing heavily into... well, not heavily, but getting some Thors. Corruptors trying to do what they can. The Infestors, there's only that little amount. Wow. So all of the Corruptors are going to go down. The Infestors aren't going to be able to do anything. Now remaxing on Roaches, but he's now broke. All of the Broodlords are going down. Siege tanks are sieged up still. This should be a good game from DrMooose very shortly. 9 Thors on the way. 4 more Vikings. 10 Thors. Yeah, there's nothing that DrMooose can do. This is the end. GG epic misclick on the Infestors, says DrMooose. Apparently he ran into the siege tanks and didn't want to do that. So it was a good game. It was very passive, and very one-sided as well. DrMooose did not react to that properly. So that's why I think mech is still a viable strategy. It's just it relies on the Zerg not messing up. But as long as they don't and know how to deal with it, then they can kill it off. But once they get to 3 base, it looks like this. So thanks very much, Charger, for watching or sending me the replay and giving me your feedback. There was also someone else, but I can't remember their name, unfortunately. I know it starts with a J, who gave me some very good advice. I'm glad you guys like the cast thus far, and I really hope I can improve. I know I went back on a lot of stuff that I said I'm going to improve on, but it does take time. You got to break old habits, or you got to break bad habits. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Take care. Goodbye. Uh-oh. I can't... And there we go. Bye-bye.